I completed my PD1 field experience at Stephen F. Austin Elementary in Weatherford ISD. I tutored a student in Mrs. Goff's first grade classroom. Austin Elementary is located in a very popular area of Weatherford, directly behind the shopping strip that contains JCPenney's and Cece's Pizza. During an interview with the manager at Cece's, he informed me that they love having Austin so close because it brings them lots of business. Austin is a fairly decent size with 549 students. Austin is not a Title I school. Homes in the area range from $150,000 to $300,000. Over 80% of students who attend Austin are Caucasian, followed by 9.7% Hispanic. 1/5 of the students are considered at risk. Programs that Austin Elementary provides are bilingual, ESL education, career and technical education, gifted and talented education, and special education. After my first visit, I decided to meet with Mrs. Goff to discuss the structures of her classroom and my 2D, who for purposes of this video I'm calling Curly Sue. Mrs. Goff informed me that Curly Sue's parents are divorced but both play an active role in her life. Curly Sue feels the need to impress and does not like to make mistakes. She's very self-conscious of her work. Mrs. Goff's schedule is built on flexibility. Nothing is set in stone. With as big of a deal as technology has become in the educational world, I was surprised to see that in Mrs. Goff's class they only have 2 computers available for student use. However, the library has tables full of iPads and a large screen TV that is touchscreen, so the students and teachers have access to it for educational purposes. Mrs. Goff's classroom is set up in 3 large groups of tables that encourage cooperative learning. With 20 students, 10 boys and 10 girls, kinesthetic, auditory, and visual learners, ethnicities from being a majority of Caucasian with 4 Hispanic and 1 African American student, and other forms of diversity, Mrs. Goff was able to engage all students by using cooperative learning. All of her students work together so there are no divides in any type of their differences, ethnicities, races, or learning abilities. During our time together, Curly Sue and I worked on strengthening her handwriting and math skills. Curly Sue is a kinesthetic and visual learner. She constantly has to be moving. She does better standing than sitting. I learned really fast that when I demonstrated on what I wanted her to do, she did better than just auditory instruction. Curly Sue informed me that her favorite subject was reading and her least were math and writing, which I can tell she truly does enjoy. She just tends to struggle more with them and needs additional help. Each week we started with handwriting and moved to math. We worked on the whiteboards, which she seemed to enjoy. We practiced writing all the letters and then started on words. She really struggled with sequencing letters and numbers, so we did both. We also used number line cards to practice sequencing, and then I would have her redraw the line on the whiteboard. Curly Sue needed lots of encouragement to succeed and to feel confident in her work. For the first time in my college career, I was able to interact with students from a teaching perspective. It has been a blessing to start being hands-on and a constant reminder of why I want to teach. I've been able to apply what I learned from class into the classroom and fully achieve the learning. During my PD1 field experience, I learned how important it is to understand the student and their learning needs. Curly Sue needs lots of encouragement and repetition in order to grasp the material. I used coherence to build on her prior knowledge and activity shifts because she gets bored really easily. Curly Sue needed lots of error correction and timely feedback in a positive manner for her self-esteem and success. During this experience, aside from what I saw myself with Curly Sue, I admired Mrs. Goff's ability to engage her students, making them eager to learn. She demonstrated input quantity and timing by activity shifts with chunks of knowledge at a time, and giving them time to process afterwards. Coherence was a major factor because she was building on their prior knowledge of ABCs and numbers that they learned in kindergarten. I've been able to learn a lot through my time in the classroom and with Curly Sue. It truly excites me when I can apply my knowledge from class in my field experience. I'm constantly eager to see the material from class and application in the classroom. The critical factors are so important in the classroom as well as cooperative learning. I've taken from this experience and I look forward to using it in my future classroom. I can't wait to make an impact on the lives of all my students.